Hello, my name is Israel. Welcome to this Take 10 webinar in which the topic is Parks and Recreation. It is summertime and we want you to make the best out of your summer. So here are some ideas and reasons to get outdoors and also some tips on sun safety. So my name is Israel and I have been working in corporate health and wellness for about 5 years. A fun fact about me is that I am deeply interested in travel and I try to visit a new country whenever I can. I'm currently at 16 countries visited, and I'm always excited to visit 17, 18, and so on beyond that. I do have a Bachelor's of Science in Exercise Science. I also have an ACSM Certified Personal Training Certificate. And we'll talk about ACSM here in a little bit more. But first, I want to talk about what we're going to, the overall picture of what we're going to talk about. Firstly, we want you to get out and get active this summer. We're going to talk about geography and local options, trends in recreation, positive and negative effects of sun exposure, and lastly, tips for sun safety. So the main reason we want you to get out and get active this summer is according to the ACSM, which is the main organization that studies sports medicine and exercise science. They recommend that adults age 18 to 65 participate in at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic activity per week. They also recommend at least 2 days a week of muscle strengthening activities. Some of the benefits of regular physical activity are regulation of blood pressure, management of anxiety and depression, and prevention of weight gain. Some of the benefits of Parks and Recreation offers opportunities to be social, which I think we all desire at one point or another, and improves sense of community, and also increases environmental awareness. So basically, it'll give you opportunity to be more familiar with your surroundings. For example, if you join a sports league, they might have the location at a place you've never visited in your city or community. So you'll just become more aware in that regard. For myself, I recently joined a run club, and when I'm running through the routes, I'll see like a restaurant or a landmark that I maybe knew about, but I need to know where it was. So it was always exciting for me to run, and I'll see something on like it'll pop in my head. Oh, telling me here that was here the whole time. So that's another factor that's a positive whenever you're joining a Parks and Recreation type thing. So on this side, we're going to talk about geography and local options. We all live in different places, so just be aware of your geographical location. Different locations can offer different and exciting ways to get active. For example, if you live in the mountains, you're probably going to have better hiking options than someone who lives by the ocean, right? Where they're probably going to have better water sports, water activities, like surfing, for example. So that leads on to the next point, offerings in certain areas. Certain areas offer unique sports or activities not possible elsewhere. You might have a state or national park in, whether in your city or very close that you could take advantage of. And then due to these factors, wherever you may be, you're going to have some site-specific sports leagues. For example, here in the picture, they're rowing. So if they live like by a lake or a river, or maybe even the ocean, they're probably going to offer rowing leagues, as opposed to like if you're in the mountains, they're probably going to offer hike clubs. It's probably just going to be more frequent, because you're not going to join a rowing league in the middle of the mountains type of thing. So that leads me to my third point, which is take a trip. Consider traveling to partake in something you wouldn't be able to do in your hometown. For example, going back to the state and national parks. Those are always fun to visit. For example, like the Grand Canyon is one of the main ones. For myself, I did something similar to this recently. I was able to go to Peru, and I did sandboarding in the desert on some sand dunes, and that was so much fun. So always try to be open to that option. The next slide is trends in recreation. Just like everything, there's always trends. There's always something new. And right now in recreation, the big one is pickleball. In the US, we have more pickleball players. They outnumber registered tennis players, which is crazy because tennis has always been a big sport here in the US. And then a stat to show how big it's growing is on average 130 new courts are being built per month in the US. So big trend there. I'm sure you probably have a friend that plays pickleball now. So next one, growth of dog parks. It's another positive trend in which dog ownership is driving more dedicated dog spaces in public parks. I know COVID had a little bit of a factor. People were solo. They went and got their first dog or added another dog. And so it just boomed and demand of the dog parks increased where you would once see a sports field. A lot of parks are putting dog parks in place of it. So it's just another positive trend. Also, technology integration. Parks are offering, they're using smartphones to offer self-guided tours and smartphone games. For example, scavenger hunts. A lot of the historic sites are doing something like this where you can do like scavenger hunt and go and visit all the landmarks, but in a bit of a more fun way. Another one is eco-conscious practices. It's good to see a lot of the parks are using recycled materials for construction and maintenance. So always eco-conscious, protecting our environment is always going to be a positive. Now we're going to talk about sun exposure and sun safety. Here we're going to talk about positive effects. And so one of the positive effects of sun exposure is enhances your mood. Sunlight boosts brain serotonin, linked to improved mood and energy. Serotonin levels naturally peak in the summer. So if you ever felt like you're a little bit more happy in summertime, you know why now. It also helps with improved sleep quality. Sun exposure regulates your circadian rhythm by influencing melatonin production. Daily natural light helps signal your body for better sleep at night. So basically more sun, more melatonin, more likely you're going to go to sleep when you're supposed to. And then the one we've all heard of, which is vitamin D production. Sunlight is crucial for vitamin D synthesis in the skin. Just 15 minutes of exposure can significantly boost levels, supporting bone health, immune function, and overall well-being. So a bunch of benefits there. Negative effects of sun exposure, eye damage. Prolonged UV exposure can harm the retina, may cause growths of the cornea and contribute to cataracts. So always want to be aware of having your sunglasses. You always want to have polarized ones. Maybe worth it to drop a little bit more money on some polarized, nice glasses, or maybe even not. They probably could find some cheap ones somewhere, as long as they're polarized. Heat-related illnesses, exhaustion and stroke. We want you to get out and have fun and go hard, challenge yourself, but always listen to your body. Always be conscious of yourself and make sure to hydrate. Sunburn, which is the most common one. Just always have your sunscreen. Reapply if you're out for a good bit. You don't want to have red skin and being in pain. And here we go. Tips for sun safety. The sun is going to be the most dangerous in the summer. It's going to be the highest UV index ratings. And so always have your sunscreen, which is the second point here. And again, if you're going to be out for extended periods, make sure to reapply. Sun protective clothing, hats, long sleeves, sunglasses, seek shade. So if you're doing an activity and you're hiking or something like that and you're going to take a rest, always try to do it in the shade. Heat exhaustion and stroke. Again, be aware of the symptoms of these conditions and take appropriate measures. And so here we are at the end. That's all I have for you today. Again, my name is Israel. I hope this intrigued you and hopefully you maybe came away with some new ideas and reasons to get outdoors this summer that you hadn't thought of before. I hope you have an enjoyable and active summer. Thank you and goodbye.